Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another 2-minute comparison. I'm super excited today because I'm cooking my favorite steak, the ribeye. The ribeye. And I've got a couple right here in the fridge and we're going to use them today to find out if there's any difference between searing them on a cast iron pan versus a stainless steel pan. Our first pan is the 12-inch skillet made by Lodge in Tennessee. They've been making these pans there for more than 100 years. And at $35 and the reputation they've built, it's going to be a hard pan to beat. Because here we have the 10-inch stainless steel skillet made by All-Clad. They've been making these pans for more than 50 years, and they're making them now in Pennsylvania. And the list price on this one is about $100, but the comparable 12-inch stainless steel skillet lists at about $220. So there's a really significant difference in the cost between these two pans, and I'm really curious to find out if the performance warrants it. But before we do that, there's something else that's really interesting, and that's the weight difference. The Lodge, weighing in at more than 6 pounds, weighs a little more than twice the All-Clad. It's going to take the Lodge a little longer to heat up, but it's going to retain that heat in its mass longer when it's really important during the sear than the All-Clad will. Now, if you've seen any of our earlier comparison videos, we found the best process for a fillet was a 2-minute pan sear on both sides, followed by a low and slow bake at 300 degrees. Well, we're going to do exactly the same thing here today. Only now I'm really curious to find out if there's any difference between the look, taste, or texture of these steaks after one has been pan seared on a cast iron skillet versus the other in a stainless steel skillet. Now, taking a look at the Lodge website, they have you taking your pan straight from the stovetop to the oven and baking your steak in the same pan it was seared in. Now, we've already shown you that's a super easy way to make a great tasting steak, no doubt. But we've also already shown you that you can make it better. But you have to remove the steak from the pan you seared it in and bake it on a rack like this one in order to make the most perfect, most evenly cooked steak with a uniform temperature profile and uniform color gradient. In this way, you're imparting the most flavor possible and not overcooking any part of your steak. And to prevent any overcooking, we're using the KUKPRO thermometer with 12 sensors to monitor the full temperature profile of these steaks. There's no way we're going to miss the cold spot with this. Another thing to remember before searing any kind of meat is to dry it off completely. Any water left on the surface will prevent your meat from getting the best possible sear it can. And before we set these ribeye to sear, we're just going to season them with some salt and fresh ground pepper. Alright, let's get them in the pan. Now I'm just setting a 4-minute timer so I can keep track of the total sear time. I'll flip them after 2 minutes. I'm also logging the data so we can take a look at that later. Now we're just going to speed things up as we wait for our 2-minute sear to finish. It's pretty clear the stainless steel pan resulted in the better sear. At this point, I'm pretty disappointed in the cast iron results. Both pans are over the same medium-high heat, but now I'm thinking the extra mass of the cast iron pan is acting like a heat sink and sucking away the heat. Okay, here's the cast iron ribeye. You can see a slight sear along the edges, but it's not exactly what I was expecting. I'm really kind of disappointed with these results. Now the stainless steel. Alright, this ribeye has a much better sear, but I'm still not satisfied with the results. I think I can get much better results on the grill with this ribeye. Now that the ribeye are in the oven, we can see how they're doing with the KUKPRO thermometer. This thermometer is measuring the full temperature profile of these ribeye, and it's auto-selecting the lowest temperature along the probe and placing it adjacent to the target temperature I set earlier for comparison. Once they match, an alarm goes off letting me know the steak has reached my target temperature. When you don't know exactly where the cold spot in your steak is located, This thermometer finds it for you every time. And that's especially helpful when you can be off by more than 20 degrees if you miss the cold spot by even as little as ½ an inch with a single sensor thermometer. Alright, both of these ribeye have undergone a 5-minute rest period. Let's cut into them and see what we've got. Okay, they both look perfect on the inside, but I'm just not happy with the way they look on the outside. The question is, would I want to serve these to guests? And my answer right now is no. Alright, well, I'm really happy with the interior results, but a little disappointed with the sear. You see the interior color looks pretty good. But the sear, not so much. Have a taste. It's a ribeye, it's still good. Not disappointed in that. Alright, the sear results on this steak were much better than the cast iron. The all-clad did a much better job, but I'm still not happy with it. I really think I prefer the way these steaks come out, the ribeye, come out on the grill. So stay tuned for another video of us grilling ribeye. Take care. Okay, I couldn't wait. I had to go back to the store and get another ribeye. And we're going to basically do the same thing out here that we did inside, but we're going to sear this ribeye on both sides for 2 minutes in a 500-degree barbecue. Then we're going to drop the temperature down to about 300 degrees and do a low and slow bake. So let's see how it goes. And we'll move it over here. Yes. And we will, just like that, lower that. And put our thermometer in it. Now, what we'll do is this. We'll close that. All right, 5-minute timer's up. Let's cut into it and see what we've got. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks even better. Okay, now what exactly have we learned here? Well, number one, and the purpose of this video, is that the stainless pan results in a better sear more quickly. 2, a ribeye is not well suited for a pan sear. These results might be particular to the ribeye, and that the fat content yields a bunch of water as it cooks, preventing a good sear from occurring very quickly. We'll have to try filet mignon in the cast iron pan. It has a much lower fat content, and we already know they turn out great in a stainless steel pan. And then the third thing we learned was that the ribeye really belongs on a grill. Aesthetically, it just looks way more appetizing. And now I'm asking myself, would I want to serve a steak like this to guests? And I can honestly say, the answer is still no. I want to eat it myself. Alright, thanks for watching another KUKPRO comparison. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.